What if everything you believe about yourself is wrong? What if your identity, your opinions, your fears, your desires, and even your certainties are just ideas you inherited, repeated, and never truly questioned? Socrates started exactly there, not trying to teach answers, but teaching people to distrust what they thought they knew. And perhaps that's why he was considered the most dangerous man in Athens, because questioning the world is acceptable, questioning power is tolerable, but questioning yourself, that dismantles everything. Socrates lived in an Athens that prided itself on being the center of knowledge, politics, art, and reason, a place where everyone had an opinion on everything, on justice, on virtue, on success, on happiness. And what did Socrates do? He simply asked. He asked until the person realized they didn't know the answer. And this wasn't gratuitous humiliation. It was a method. It was liberation. It was the birth of self-knowledge. Because, according to Socrates, the greatest problem of humankind is not ignorance. It's the illusion of knowing. When you think you know, you stop investigating, you stop observing, you stop growing. And that's why the most famous phrase associated with him isn't about accumulating knowledge, but about looking inward. Know thyself. This phrase was inscribed on the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. It wasn't motivational advice. It was a warning, an almost threatening reminder. Before trying to understand the world, understand who you are. Before judging others, investigate your own contradictions. Before seeking answers outside, question what's happening inside. And here comes the first point that almost no one understands properly. Self-knowledge, for Socrates, is not comfortable introspection. It's not self-help. It's not repeating positive affirmations in the mirror. It's confrontation. It's discomfort. It's realizing that much of what you call I is a social construct, fear, vanity, a desire for approval. Socrates didn't write books. He walked through the city talking. But these conversations weren't light-hearted. He approached politicians, poets, soldiers, merchants, and asked, what is justice? What is courage? What is a good life? And at first, everyone answered confidently. After a few questions, the confidence crumbled. And then came the silence. And in the silence, something rare was born, the awareness of one's own ignorance. And this is where one of the most revolutionary ideas in history comes in. I only know that I know nothing. This isn't false humility, it's lucidity. It's the moment when you stop identifying with rigid certainties and begin to live in a state of investigation. Now, think about this applied to your life today. How many ideas have you never questioned? What is success for you? Where did that definition come from? What is failure? Who taught you that? What does it mean to be a person of value? What is a life well lived? Do you have ready-made answers for this? Or do you just repeat concepts you absorb from family, school, culture, and the internet? Socrates believed that an unexamined life is not worth living. And that phrase is brutal, not because it condemns those who don't reflect, but because it points to a real risk, living on autopilot, living as a character in your own story without ever assuming the role of observer. And here comes an essential point of Socratic thought. Questioning reality begins with questioning yourself, because the way you see the world is filtered by your mind. Your fears distort facts, your desires create illusions, your beliefs shape what you perceive and what you ignore. Plato, a disciple of Socrates, developed this brilliantly in the allegory of the cave. People chained, looking at shadows on the wall, believing that this is reality. And when someone breaks free and sees the real world, it hurts. The light hurts. The truth confuses. But returning to the cave after that is impossible. Socrates was the kind of guy who tried to break free from his chains, and that's why he was hated. Because nobody likes having their certainties threatened. Questioning yourself means losing your footing for a while. It's admitting that maybe you're living a life you didn't consciously choose. And here's an important point. Self-knowledge isn't about knowing your tastes. It's about knowing your hidden motivations. It's not about knowing what you like. It's about understanding why you like it. It's not about knowing what you do. It's about understanding why you do it. Aristotle, who came later, said that human beings seek happiness. But Socrates went deeper. The problem is that most people don't even know what they're looking for. They just run. They run after status, money, approval, security, without ever stopping to ask if this really makes them better, wiser, more human. And this is where Socrates connects self-knowledge with wisdom. For him, wisdom isn't about accumulating information. It's about living ethically, consciously and coherently. It's about aligning thought, action, and values. It's about recognizing when you act out of fear, vanity, or social pressure. He believed that no one does evil consciously. People err out of ignorance, ignorance about themselves, ignorance about the real consequences of their actions, ignorance about what truly matters. And that changes everything, because if error stems from ignorance, the path is not punishment, it's awareness. It's not guilt, it's clarity. It's not repression, it's questioning. Now stop and think. How many decisions do you make without truly knowing yourself? How many choices do you make trying to please, protect yourself, or fit in? How many times do you call something intuition when it's actually disguised fear? Socrates wouldn't tell you what to do. He would ask you questions, and the right questions are more dangerous than ready-made answers. Who are you when no one is watching? What do you defend in public but don't live in private? What do you avoid thinking about because it hurts? These questions are the foundation of self-knowledge, and without them, there is no wisdom. There is only repetition. And here enters another philosopher who engages deeply with Socrates, Heraclitus. He said that no one steps into the same river twice. Everything changes, everything flows, including you. The problem is when you cling to a fixed identity and refuse to evolve. Socrates understood this intuitively. Questioning yourself is accepting that you are constantly under construction, that your ideas can change, that your beliefs can mature, that revising an opinion is not weakness, it is intelligence, and perhaps that is why he was condemned to death, officially for corrupting the youth and not believing in the city's gods, in practice for teaching young people to think for themselves, to not accept ready-made discourses, to not bow to authority without reflection. And here comes one of the most powerful moments in the history of philosophy. Socrates had the chance to escape from prison. Friends offered help, but he refused. Not because he wanted to die, but because he believed that living in contradiction to his principles would be worse than death. This is self-knowledge taken to the limit. Knowing who you are, what you believe in, and being willing to pay the price for it. And now comes the question that spans centuries and reaches you. Do you know what is worth living for, and if necessary, suffering for? Because without self-knowledge, you live reactively, reacting to the world, to opinions, to expectations. With self-knowledge, you live intentionally, choosing even when it hurts. And make no mistake, questioning yourself doesn't make you more confident immediately. In the beginning, it makes you more humble, more insecure, more attentive. But over time, it makes you more solid, less manipulable, less dependent on external validation. In a world that profits from distraction, Socrates would be cancelled in minutes. Because he demands presence, he demands pause, he demands deep thought, he demands courage to look inward. And perhaps that is his greatest teaching for today. The reality you perceive is shaped by the level of self-awareness you have. The less you know yourself, the easier it is to be deceived. Through ideologies, propaganda, empty promises, and false truths. Self-knowledge doesn't give you all the answers, but it gives you something more valuable, the ability to ask better questions. And better questions create better lives. So, if there's a Socratic invitation for this moment, it's this: examine your life, question your certainties, be wary of easy answers, observe your own thoughts as if you were a stranger in your own mind, because in the end, wisdom isn't about knowing a lot. It's about knowing who you are while living in this ever-changing world. And if this kind of reflection resonated with you, if this content took you out of autopilot on some level, take advantage of this moment now. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, activate the bell, and share it with someone who also needs to start questioning themselves a little more. Sometimes, a single right question completely changes the course of a life.